One of the most common questions I hear from hair professionals is not about technique. It's about how to fill your chair, how to build your clientele. Now, back in the before times, when I started building my clientele, it was very much a walk-in only standard. And of course, times have changed. But the strategies to building a clientele haven't. Today, we're going to cover strategies for both the new professional and the seasoned stylist or barber looking to grow. By the end of this video, you're going to have actionable steps in order to fill your schedule no matter where you are in your career. First, let's cover some basics. Why does marketing matter to hair professionals? One, we're selling a service. So we kind of got to let people know what we're selling in order to sell it. Because if you don't tell them, they're not going to know. Let's cover the difference between passive client acquisition and active client acquisition. Now, passive things are going to be signage, putting an open flag out, the basic things for your business structure from a physical location standpoint. Also advertising, whether it's online, in the paper, those are very passive ways to just let people know that you're out there and available. Active client acquisition is going out into the world and engaging with the public, making sure that you're prepared with business cards in your pocket, ready to share your information. Before you do that, you have to understand who you're trying to attract. Who do you want in your chair all day? Everybody's not for everybody. Making sure that you know what you want to do all day and going out and engaging with those people, that's how you know how to target your audience. The next thing is identifying your unique value proposition. What makes you unique and set apart from the rest of your hair professionals? And make sure that people know that this is what I'm offering that you aren't going to find anywhere else. Now, when you're implementing these types of strategies, you need to make sure you've established realistic expectations for yourself. Make sure you're not going all in 1 minute and then getting discouraged and falling off with inconsistency the next. You need to make sure that you set realistic expectations, like I'm going to make sure that I go out and get at least 2 clients a month. That's realistic. That is achievable. That way you continue consistent momentum and build it up over time. It'll serve you best in the long run. Now let's talk about strategies for new professionals. First, make sure you leverage your existing network. Friends, family, those people, don't get me wrong, at the beginning of your career, may be hesitant to support you. I would recommend taking note of that for the future. It's all well and good if they are hesitant to sit in your chair at first. You're new to the profession. Maybe they don't want to risk a bad haircut, and that's fair. But when you're busy down the line and they want to have a favor of a haircut, maybe you might want to remember that. Those social connections are going to help you start off and spread the word that you're available for service. Next, let's talk about the power of model calls and portfolio building. Now, I'm very pro giving people an opportunity with a free haircut, especially if you're exchanging the ability to take pictures or video content of that haircut to make sure that you can use it in the future. I actually prefer the concept of giving a free haircut to somebody more than discounting your service. Now, if you're in a shop or salon where you have a lot of other coworkers, make sure you do a good job of building those relationships because they have more experience than you do. They can help build and grow you. And even more so, if for whatever reason they're not available and they've seen your skill, they are far more likely to recommend that one of their clients, if they can't fit into their schedule, will sit in your chair instead. And take note, quality hair professionals do not view their clients as property. If you're going to implement social media into your marketing strategy, make sure you identify which platforms are going to work best for the clientele you want to attract. Now, when it comes to setting yourself an attainable goal, I would recommend that you set a goal of getting your first 50 clients. And then after that goal is met, then you can build more from there. Once you start off, it's slow going, but you can build that momentum and then things will grow exponentially. By no means ever underestimate the power of word of mouth. Now, more so than anything, back in my day, even now, the best way to get clientele is to go out into the world and talk to people. Just engage with them. You can break the ice as far as complimenting something that they're wearing, an interesting thing that they've done, anything that is a positive, a compliment, will hit it right off with people. Now, if you're an introvert like me that has a hard time initiating cold conversations with people, I would recommend perhaps adjusting your appearance so that other people are interested in engaging with you who are a little more extroverted. So make sure your hair is something interesting. Make sure you wear something that catches the eye. Things like that help people engage with you. That way you're not the one starting the conversation. And while you're going out into the world, I highly recommend that if you're in a business area, go into the local businesses surrounding you and engage with those business owners and those employees. Humans are rather reciprocal. If you become a customer of theirs, they're far more likely to become a customer of yours, or at very least give you a chance. And a chance is what you're looking for. One other thing I would recommend trying to build a foundational knowledge on is how to take professional photos. This is the age of social media, and that is how you're going to build your portfolio. Unless you want to spend the money or you have a friend who's a photographer that you want to bring in order to get that, use the free resources at your disposal with the internet. Find out how to frame a photo, how to control lighting. Those things are going to really help you in the beginning when it comes to building your portfolio. Next up, we're going to cover established hair professional strategies. First, advanced social media tactics. We're not talking about the run-of-the-mill just posting randomly whenever you decide to remember to take a photo. No. This is turning content into converts. We're talking educational content, visual storytelling, and client-centric content. Now let's talk strategies for established professionals. Let's talk about advanced social media tactics. So we're talking educational content, we're talking visual storytelling, we're talking client-centric content. This is you stepping up your game on social media. And also engagement techniques, such as community building and cross-promotion. Next, let's talk about a referral system that actually works. It's really important to try and make it easy on yourself, or at least as easy as you can. Create a simple referral process. So we're talking QR codes, digital referral cards, Square, Vagaro, Booksy, Gloss Genius, and Fresha. They all have built-in loyalty programs that you can utilize with their booking system. Unfortunately, Mango Mint does not. They are under the impression that referrals don't actually work, which is their prerogative, is their business. So if they want to lose out on that because somebody wants to have a referral system, that's on them. Moving on, implement automated tracking systems. So if you have one of those booking systems at your disposal, use the tools that are included in your subscription. It's always important to provide really good communication, really clear communication to your clients when it comes to what's involved in the referral process and what the rewards are. And above all, make sure you train your staff on the referral system program. Now let's talk about the communication strategies for this referral system. Regular reminders about referral benefits, success stories from existing clients, visual displays in the shop or salon, and social media promotion. Now, let's not forget that client retention is your best marketing tool. Happy clients talk. They specifically talk to people in person, or they love to post their favorite selfie and go, oh my gosh, check out this wonderful haircut, or oh my goodness, check out this wonderful color transformation. When they're happy, they want to show it off. And that's free advertising for you. Also, creating premium services that justify higher prices. Look at your skill arsenal. Figure out how to create a whole experience from beginning, middle to finish that will create a memorable experience, even a story in the mind of the client that went through the experience. That will stick in their mind. Now let's talk about expanding your service menu strategically. You don't want to throw all your services at the wall all at once like pasta and hope it sticks. Services are not pasta. What you want to do is you want to start with a foundation of services that you can strengthen and build up. Bring in your clientele to see what works. Find out what your clients are asking for, and then figure out how to add services that will complement already popular services. Next, collaborative marketing with complementary businesses, whether it's a hairstylist, an esthetician, a massage therapist, a barber, any of those, chiropractor, you name it. If it is a service profession, there is a way for it to complement one another. So cross-promotion builds firm relationships in the long run. You can also host events or workshops to show your expertise. What do you want to be doing all day? What do you want to attract more of? Host an event where it showcases those skills. Last on the section, let's talk about paid advertising. I'm going to use an example. Radio or podcast advertising. It on its own is rarely going to bring you more clients. However, if it is paired with like a visually catching signage when you're in like a busy downtown area, or you also have advertised or been featured in certain events, it can act as a reminder to clients or potential clients that you exist. Like they saw the sign and they had a mental note in the back of their head, but they never followed through on it. Sometimes that radio or that podcast ad can give them enough of a reminder going, oh yeah, I remember seeing that place. That means they already know where it is, or they've already heard of you and maybe checked out your social media page. And that's sometimes enough of a push for them to actually check you out and book. It's also important to know the audience you're trying to attract. A barber wanting to get male clients in their chair, it would be beneficial for them to advertise during sporting events. That is typically the average demographic of those listeners. If you're wanting older clientele, it would probably be more beneficial for you to advertise in your local paper. Know what demographics you want and know where they're putting their eyes and ears. Now let's talk universal strategies that work for everyone. Consultation as a marketing tool. The best thing you can do is really engage with your clients in the chair and know what they want before you execute. Offering free consultations, especially virtual ones, are a lot more comfortable for first-time clients before actually entering into your space, but also getting a read on the personality of their stylist, of the potential client. All of those things are very important. Obviously, that matters more for a hairstylist than it does a barber, but if a barber is offering more spa-like services, especially when it comes to skin or scalp care, that may also be an option for them. Building an email list. Yes, it still works. Don't get me wrong. It's a numbers game. You're going to throw out a couple hundred emails and you might only get a handful or a dozen clicks, but that's more than none. Before and after content that stops the scroll. Make sure that whatever you're posting on social media is engaging enough to make somebody go, "Ooh, I like that. Let me see how they did that." Not hesitating to offer client education. When you are willing and able to educate your clients on the issues that they are struggling with, they very much appreciate that. Because we, before our hair school, had no idea about the vast majority of the things that we learned. So the general public is very much in the same position. They want to learn about their hair. Who else is going to teach them? It's super important to have consistency in branding across your platforms, because if somebody is finding you on one platform and they happen to frequent another one more, it's far more eye-catching if they already recognize your logo, already recognize your profile picture, and already recognize your handle. But if you look 3 different ways on 3 different platforms, that creates confusion and is not helpful when it comes to reminding somebody that your business exists. Next, encouraging reviews and testimonials. We all know that bad reviews and bad experiences travel way faster than good ones. So it's important to encourage your clients who are satisfied with their service that instead of accepting their tip, encourage them to leave you a review or refer somebody to you or text you or email you their positive experience. That way you can post and share that. Those things a lot of times can be far more valuable than a one-time tip. Next, community involvement. It's super important to anybody in the community to see you out there dedicating your time to the causes that are important to them. For example, in my area, we have an annual event called the Greater Lakes Region Children's Auction. Every year around Christmas time, they do an entire week of auctioning off various donated items for the sake of distributing money to nonprofits in the area. And that money stays in our area. My previous shop, we did services on location for a whole day there during that week, and everything we made went straight to the auction. And we got lots of clients who were very appreciative of our dedication to that event and made sure to come and see us because of it. So charity events especially are very helpful when it comes to marketing. Last on this list is follow-up programs to keep clients coming back. So obviously at the end of a service, it's very important to ask the client if they want to rebook. That way they know that they can get in, they can plan accordingly, they know when to get in, when to get out. They're going to receive reminders so that they don't forget about the appointment. But there are also other strategies to follow up with them, reaching out, going, "Hey, just want to check on, make sure your service is lasting as long as you wanted it to." I always try and make sure that my clients know that for their haircut, if it's bugging them within a week, feel free to come back. I will fix it, adjust things free of charge within that week, because if it wasn't right, it wasn't right. Common mistakes to avoid. First, discounting too much. Don't devalue your services. It's one thing to offer percentage off when it comes to retail products, because you've got a little bit of wiggle room as far as how much money you're going to make on that single product if you're the one in control of that. Otherwise, I would much rather give away full services for the sake of somebody being able to test out and see if they vibe with me versus giving them a percentage discount on a service, because then they feel like, well, I paid only this much the first time. I'm getting the exact same thing this next time. Why is it suddenly worth more? Inconsistent social media presence. Don't get me wrong, I have historically been very guilty of this, but it is important that if you are going to use social media, post consistently. and decide what consistently is for you, whatever you can maintain. If you can post once a week, great. If you can post once a day, awesome. But make sure that the consistency is something you can maintain over a long period of time. If it happens to be in 3 or 4 weeks that you can post on a daily basis, but then suddenly life gets in the way and something happens and you can no longer meet that schedule, that's going to affect your algorithm. So I would recommend making a goal of dedicating time to post once a week. And then if you find that you can do more here and there, make sure you implement it gradually. Next, neglecting clients while you're chasing new ones. If you're constantly focused on attracting new clientele all the time to the point where your services are starting to slack because you're not giving your full attention to the clients currently sitting in your chair, that's not good for anyone. Be present for your clients and give them your full attention and dedication. And then when you have free time, make an effort to take your time to acquire new people. Don't go out and start hanging around area businesses around you if you know that you have an appointment during that time. Failing to collect contact information. Now, don't get me wrong, if it's a one-off that somebody's walking in and you happen to have an open spot and you can slide them in right then and there, awesome. But when it comes to checking them out, 90% of people are going to use a card. Make sure that they have the ability to get a receipt emailed or texted to them. That way you retain that information. When you send out updates or deals, that you can contact them. Most booking systems have this available so you can have a nice streamlined list of your clientele. Don't waste those tools that are included in your subscription. That brings me to the next mistake. Not having a clear booking system. Now, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of different booking systems out there. Make sure that you go into them and you have a thorough understanding of them so you can implement them to the best of your ability. There's no sense in paying that much money a month if you're not going to utilize the tools at your disposal. Last, spreading yourself too thin on social media platforms. Again, it's about identifying your clientele. Know where they're putting their eyes and ears. I'm a millennial and I am dealing with majority millennials and older. I'm focused on Instagram. That's where a lot of those eyes are. If you're looking for more Gen Z, Gen Alpha, TikTok is definitely going to be more beneficial to you. If you're looking for more of the older clientele, Facebook is certainly where they are, and do your best to try and automate your postings across whatever platforms you've chosen. You don't have to do everything manually. Next, let's talk about creating your marketing plan. Daily or weekly marketing habits that lead to results. Make sure you're on your books and you know what you're spending if you're paying for promotion. Make sure you schedule and set aside time to create content and then time to edit and post it. Those things don't magically do themselves. Make sure to measure what matters. Pay attention to key metrics. Next, learn to balance creative work with marketing efforts. So I'm all about creativity as far as content because it's very eye-catching. Personally, I love color transformations, especially when it's vivid colors. Catches me every time. I have a feed full of it. However, if that's not something you want to be doing all the time, that's not what you should be putting out there. Make sure that if you are going to be doing creative things, that's what you want to do all the time because that's what you will attract with that content. If you prefer doing blonding and highlights, then why are you putting out 5 different rainbow hair transformation videos? Showcase your desires. Now, when should you adjust your strategy based on your results? I would say give your consistent posting content at least 6 to 8 weeks before you adjust how you're going to change it. You have to establish consistency before you know what to tweak. So to recap, we covered some foundational concepts to keep in mind, strategies for both new and established professionals, things that will work for everyone, mistakes to avoid, and creating a marketing plan. Now, I would encourage you to pick 1 or 2 of these strategies to implement. Anything more than that would easily become overwhelming. I know some of us like to dive right in head first, but let's think of sustainability over time. This is a marathon, not a sprint. Now, I'd love for you to share your biggest client building challenge down in the comments. Let me know, and I'll see you next time.